This is an interview with Nikki Cutright for the Youngstown Historical Center of Industry and Labor Oral History Project titled Women at Work. The interview is being conducted at the Youngstown Historical Center of Industry and Labor, known as the Steel Museum, on March 28th, 2023. My name is Susan Lowry. Hi, Nikki. How are you today?
Good.
That's good. And thank you for being here with us today. I just have a couple of introduction questions that will move right into our main topic.
Sure.
First of all, where did you and your family live when you were growing up?
Niles, Ohio.
Niles, Ohio. And where did you go to high school?
Niles McKinley.
And you graduated from there?
Yes.
What year?
1992.
I was going to say, I might be able to help you with that answer if you need me to. What did your parents do for a living?
My dad was basically a jack of all trades. He pretty much did a little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah?
He was a licensed gunsmith with his FFL. He had owned his own gun shop. Oh. He worked at Copper Weld Steel. He did construction.
Uh-huh. Did he work at any other kind of industry, local industries?
He worked doing asbestos. He did worked out with Terrari. He worked, I forget what that place is. It's not even there anymore. He worked at Terrari's in Youngstown. He worked in a construction, basically doing demolition.
Okay.
We used to joke Dad was a jack of all trades, master of none. He did remodeling, building, roofing on the side on his own.
Yeah.
Basically, if you needed something done, Dad could do it.
Got it. And that's one of the best kinds of dads.
Yeah.
How about your mom?
My mom, she did not work until my dad, he got hurt when I was a kid. When he was working at Copper Weld, and he was off work, numerous back surgeries. So about the time my brother and I want to say junior high school, she started working at Hills department store.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one in Austintown
Niles.
In Niles? Okay.
The one in Niles.
That makes sense.
And Ben and I followed in her footsteps eventually, and we both worked there. And at one point, all three of us worked there together.
Now, is this while you were in high school that you worked
No.
when you got out of high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was after I came home from the Army.
Oh, I see. Okay, so right after you graduated from high school in 92, you went to the Army? Mm-hmm. How many years were you in the service?
I was a reservist.
Okay.
So I went and I did my training, and then it was an 8x2 contract.
Okay.
So I did my training, and then I was technically on call for 8 years, and that finished up. Got the letter for that right after my son was born in 2000.
Oh, okay. And let me think here. So you worked at Hills. How long did you work at Hills? Maybe just a couple of years?
Not even.
Not even?
Not even.
Okay. And did you have any other kind of like jobs such as that, like retail or fast food?
Oh, I had numerous. I've worked at Burger King, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, a pizza shop.
Yep.
Hills. Worked briefly at a pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
Right after my daughter, but I ended up quitting that. I couldn't. Yeah. My daughter was too young, and I couldn't deal with the separation.
Yeah. And speaking of that, so are you married? Were you married?
I am divorced and remarried.
Okay. And how many total children do you have?
I have 2 biological children and a stepdaughter. And
stepdaughter's pretty close to you then? Is that what you mean?
She lives with us.
Yeah.
She is. I told my husband, I said, you do realize if anything happens to us, I'm keeping her. And she agreed. She told her dad, I'm staying with Mom.
Perfect. Oh, that's awesome. That is fantastic.
She's an incredible young woman.
Very good. Are they all out of high school now?
Yes.
Do you have grandkids?
Oh, I've got 3.
You got 3, and how old are they?
7, 5, and 2.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. And yeah, one other thing, when you were growing up, it was just you and your brother then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And are you the oldest between the
Yes.
two? Okay. Now, what do you do currently?
I am an over-the-road truck driver with my husband.
Fantastic. And how long have you been doing that?
I've been a truck driver for almost 5.5 years.
5.5 years. What led you to seek that kind of employment?
I always wanted to see the country.
Yeah.
And he told me when we met, I didn't realize he was a truck driver. He said, you'll definitely see a lot of the country from the highway. And I said, well, that's okay. I said, I like to drive. I want to be able to go. But my kids were younger. I couldn't do it. And everybody just kind of, you want to be a truck driver? You know, I never really had support until I met him. And he's like, if that's what you want to do, then do it.
Yeah. Oh,
so
my gosh.
I did.
It's refreshing when I meet somebody who says that their spouse is the one who encouraged them to make that move.
And he said, it was before we were married, he said, I'm going to tell you this. He said, I cannot teach you. He said, you go to school. And I said, well, can we drive together? And he said, after a while. He said, I've been doing this for almost 20 years.
Okay.
You need to go and learn it on your own. He said, because a lot of what they teach you now is not what I learned.
Oh, okay.
So
now, did he have to, after 20 years or so many years, and did he have to get recertified or anything?
No, he got his license. I think he was 21.
Oh,
and
wow.
He's 40. He was born in. He's 4 years younger than me, so he's 40, he's going to be 45 this year.
Oh, okay.
So he's been driving for 24 years.
Okay. All right.
And
yeah.
basically growing up, his mom and dad owned trucks. So they taught him. And he drove with them when he started. So the stuff you need to know now for your CDL test, they didn't need to know that.
Isn't that something?
It's different.
What's also interesting is the fact that he did not have to be recertified or anything like that.
No, once you get that on your license, as long as you continue to drive, you're good.
Wow. Now, where did you go to school?
TDDS in Lake Milton.
Okay. And how long is that program?
It took me longer because at the time I was only going weekends.
Okay, and that's because you're a mom?
No, well, that and I had a full-time job. I was a single mother at that point.
Oh, okay.
So I worked for ABM Parking.
Okay. That's right here, APM?
ABM.
ABM, okay.
And, yeah, in downtown Youngstown. I love that job. My boss, she was amazing. But when my son got about 16, 17, I decided to go do that.
Okay.
So I worked Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, I went to school for truck driving I think I started in September, and I graduated and got my CDL in December, so 3 months.
Oh, that's not too bad, though,
No.
for just on the weekends. So in other words, if you were able to go Monday through Friday at this school, it might even take less time then.
Oh, it did.
Oh,
It
I
would've,
see.
But I couldn't. I
Yeah.
had to work.
And so TDDS accommodates individuals such as yourself who need to keep that job.
Yeah, they
That's
offered
great.
night classes, but with my son in sports, I couldn't do those.
I see.
And at that time, Taylor had come to live with us, so I had 2 teenagers at home. I couldn't really be going on the weekends.
Yeah, that's fantastic to have a company such as that accommodates men and women who have certain kind of
They had an
priorities.
accelerated program that you went longer days. I think it was like for 3 weeks, and you were done. They had one that took like 2 months, and then doing the weekend program, it took me roughly 3 months.
Okay, but 3 months, honestly, for what you got out of it.
Yeah, but it was hard because it was a lot of information packed into a.
Yeah. Okay. Are you more of the hands-on kind of learner? Yeah.
Yes.
I see. When did you get that opportunity to do the hands-on learning?
Well, what we would do is we would do the book learning. And then Saturday was all book learning.
Okay.
Sunday we actually went out and they showed us the things on the truck. TDS, I think, is now closed.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There were a lot of changes in the CDL school regulations, and a lot of
Yeah.
places they couldn't. And a lot of trucking companies now offer to train you. Catch what that is, you're stuck working with them, and you really, a lot of places don't really pay too good because they know you're stuck, and if you try to leave because you're not getting paid or not getting miles, then they can sue you.
Oh,
that's why I didn't want to go through a company. I wanted to go through a school. There are 2 schools local. One is through, I know, Job and Family Services in Trumbull County. They do have a school they work with. And I think there's another one out in Brookfield.
Okay.
That they're actual schools.
Yeah.
But with all the changes in the regulations and everything, and I'm not really sure why. I'm really sad about.
Yeah.
Because even like 2 years after I graduated, if I needed help, I could go there.
Yeah.
And the instructors were great. The instructors remembered me. You know, hey, if you want practice, just show up. You know, this is when we're not busy. You can use one of these trucks.
When you were there, though, so it sounds like it was very inclusive, and it sounds that the instructors were encouraging and supportive. Did you happen to have anybody, though, or maybe even a classmate that kind of like belittled you or discriminated against you, disrespected you because you were a woman?
No. Actually, I had another woman. She actually drives for FedEx now. Her and I are still friends on Facebook. We run the same thing. You could pretty much tell who was there just because they wanted the paycheck and who actually wanted to learn. I was very fortunate when I started. My class was me and 2 other guys.
Okay.
And we were all very competitive with scores.
Yeah, that's fun.
You know, and we had a good time. They respected me. The instructors respected me as a woman. They did not treat me any different because I was a female.
Let's take that comparison from then, maybe from when you were in the Army, because it's a good amount of time span. Did you see any differences there, or do you think you were respected as a woman in the Army as well?
You know, until I went into my schooling, we were segregated.
Oh.
Basic training, guys were over here, females were over. We didn't commingle. And even the drill sergeants when I was in the Army, they didn't really pull punches. You're here to do a job.
Okay. Fantastic. Let's see here. So when you got done with your schooling at TDDS, did you start driving truck all by yourself, or were you able to tag along with your husband at the time? This was before you were even married.
We were still dating, but his stipulation was, I have learned and forgot more than you know. You need to go and be able to be comfortable in that truck, to drive that truck.
I see.
And learn how to do it. Yes, and learn how to do it, because I know a lot of people that they got their CDL and jumped right in with a significant other. And case in point, my sister-in-law. She went and got her CDL so that she could drive with my brother-in-law. Well, when he passed, the only reason she got it was to be with him. Now she has rebounded. She drives a dump truck now for a company down in Kentucky.
Yeah. But that's okay. That's okay.
But the thing is she always had him there for the backup.
Yeah.
Now, I've got John there with me for the backup. Like if it's a tight back or my anxiety kicks in, he can help or he can do it. But for the most part,
you figured it out.
I do the driving myself. I don't need him to do it.
I see. That is fantastic. And that was really good advice.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get that very much sometimes. So.
Now, there has been times he's like, you're taking forever. Get out of the seat. I'll do it. Okay. I'm not going to argue with that at all.
How about the workload? So yeah, between you and your husband, when is it time for you to drive? When is it time for him to drive? What is the workload dynamics when you're driving compared to when he's driving?
When I'm driving, it's a lot calmer. I drive night shift.
Okay.
He will not let me drive day shift. He drives day shift. I worked one day shift when I was on a dedicated load back and forth to New York.
Okay.
I was on the phone with him. I was cussing people out. You want to cut in front of me? I'll make you a compact. He's like, and that is why you're not driving day shift in rush hour. There's a lot less traffic to deal with at night.
Yeah.
But there's also, like when we hit weather, like snow and stuff, there's a lot of stuff that he can see during the day that I can't see at night.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely a different ball game.
Yeah.
Now I can do more miles at night because obviously less traffic. Like we'll go through Dallas, we'll go through Los Angeles, we'll go through Atlanta. What takes him 3 or 4 hours to get through during the day, I can do it in an hour.
Yeah.
And he gets irritated. And I was like, well, you want to drive nights? And he just looks at me, no.
Well, that brings up my next question. So it has nothing to do with you being a woman that you're driving nights. It is more about your personality and what works best.
When I was solo, I was on a FedEx dedicated run. Well, I started out filling in.
Okay.
The guy that was in charge of that dedicated lane was really impressed with the fact that I was on time, early, always showed up, did what I needed to do. Usually at Transport America, you would have to have at least a year or more in before you were offered a dedicated route.
Okay.
I think I had 5 months in.
Wow.
They said, we have a dedicated run from Richfield, Ohio. It's on the other side of Akron.
Okay.
Towards Cleveland.
Unfortunately, I don't know that area too well.
Remember. To Montgomery, New York.
Okay.
I said, okay, cool. He said, you'll be home every other day. You leave on a Monday. We'll get you a load out. We'll get you a load back. You'll be home Tuesday. You know, you go out Tuesday night, you know. So I was home every other day, which was great with 2 kids at school. He was still driving, doing longer hours. He wasn't home. He was on the road too.
And that's John, your boyfriend at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only downside is it's a night shift job.
Okay.
So I've basically been driving night shift for 4.5 years.
Okay. I see.
So it made more sense for me to stay on the night shift because that's what my schedule and my body was programmed for anyway.
Okay.
And he likes to go to sleep earlier. He is more of an early riser. Me not so much because I can't sleep real good at night. Yeah. So it works out for us. I drive nights, he drives days. Now there has been a few times due to hours that I've driven day shift, but then that screws my whole sleep schedule up for a week or two. So we try not to do that. But, I mean, I have drove days. I just personally prefer nights.
So aside from driving and filling up the gas tank, what else do you have to do being a truck driver?
We have to drop and hook a truck, back it into a dock. We have to do maintenance on the truck every day, check it, you know.
Okay, so not just like oil change maintenance, what other type of maintenance? Or how about like in tires? Other than that, what other kind of maintenance
Well,
is?
see, all of that somebody else does, but I still have to be able, we do what's called a pre-trip and a post-trip. You go and you make sure your tires are good, you know, your equipment is all squared away, there's no problems, there's no flats, you know, nothing's leaking, nothing's broke.
And it's important to do these pre-checks. Because when you're out on the road, you're trying to safeguard not just yourself, but the people around you then. Okay.
And you don't want something breaking.
Yeah.
Because that's not a good thing.
No. So let's say you had one of those pre-checks. Have there been flukes where then you have gotten in an accident?
No, I've actually never been in an accident.
In the 5.5 years?
Oh, wait, no, I lied. I played Titanic once, but that wasn't anything I could prevent.
Okay, what does that mean, play Titanic?
A couple years ago, it's been almost 3 years now, we were in Texas. They had a real bad ice storm.
Okay.
I came up over a hill, and there was a pile of what I thought was snow up to my, it was basically up to my thigh.
Okay.
There was construction and no road on the left, and the shoulder was barriered.
Yeah.
You know, was dropped. It was sloped because they were doing construction there. My options were swerve, possibly roll the truck, and go off the ground, or go over it. Well, I went over it. It was ice.
Oh.
So I broke a valve, but that's one of those, you're coming over a hill at night, it's right there.
You have to think fast.
And that's one thing about this job. They tell you look ahead.
Yeah.
You have to look ahead, anticipate. And I've noticed, especially like bigger cities, People will come off a ramp and cut you off, and it's like, if I've got 40,000 load, I'm an 80,000 pound vehicle. I can't stop. Or I had one the other day. It was 70 miles an hour, merged onto the freeway in front of me doing 35.
Oh my gosh.
And nowhere for me to go. So hit the engine brake, hit the thing.
Wow.
I mean, you've got basically being a truck driver, you have to save people from their own stupidity.
Yeah.
They don't realize we can't stop on a dime. It takes the math of it, it takes the equivalent of 3 football fields to stop a semi-truck. So these people that cut us off or, jump lanes and come, I mean, I've had a couple people almost clip my front bumper. Because we are professional drivers, the responsibility to keep the motoring public safe from our own stupidity falls on us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
I mean, it's
eye-opening too, because you're absolutely right. When you have somebody who's just a regular car driver going in and out, they never had the exams, the tests, the on-hands experience that you had. So they're just haphazardly doing whatever
and they think we can stop like they can stop. Okay, you're 5,000 pounds,
ignorance.
I'm 80,000.
It's an absolute kind of ignorance type of thing.
Yes, what I would ideally, I think would be amazing, especially for young drivers, because the amount of people we see texting on their phones and stuff when they're driving. I mean, I had a guy one night swerving like this between lanes at night in a construction. And it's like, I ended up 3 trucks behind an accident in which 2 truck drivers died. We were in New Mexico. And the person left the center over the median, and these 2 trucks tried to avoid her, and they ended up dying because of her stupidity. Trying to avoid killing her, they killed themselves. And there's numerous stories like that. The truck drivers, we know what damage we can do to a car. We know what damage we can do to a person. John has a friend that he basically quit driving after an accident. You know how you've heard suicide by cop?
Yeah.
There was suicide by semi. The guy crossed the center lane, came head on for his truck, and John's friend kept trying to move to avoid this guy, and he kept coming, and he ended up killing the guy. He did everything he could have done, and somebody still died, and he could not handle driving a semi ever again.
Oh, wow.
I really, truly think that they need to, when they do driver's ed, they need to include something.
Yeah. Yeah,
for
I
these
agree.
people to let them know, look, you don't do this with a truck.
Right.
Or like we'll be in construction and it'll be like, I'm here, or there's a truck here, I'm here. There's that much space. I have cars come flying up and try to cut in between us, and it's like even going to 5 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, then that...
And what they don't realize is whatever weight we have in the back, as soon as we hit the brake, shifts forward. So that pushes us.
Oh my gosh, yeah, these things that you just don't think about. I'm sitting here as one of those type of individuals. I don't think about that. I don't think about that shift weight. And I think you're absolutely right.
That's why trucks go, heavier trucks, have you ever been behind a semi going up a hill?
Yeah.
Okay, how they slow down?
Right.
The weight drags them.
Right.
Down the hill, it pushes them.
Oh my gosh.
So when we're stopping, that weight is still in motion.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's physics, right?
Yes. And people don't realize that.
Right. Oh my gosh.
But truth be told, I love my job.
Yeah.
I truly do. I had my daughter asked me one time, Mom, are you doing this because of John, or do you actually like this? I've got 2 degrees.
Yeah.
I've got a degree in computer business.
Okay.
I've got a degree in medical coding and billing.
Yeah, we somehow overlooked the whole degree thing. I'm so sorry about that, but yeah.
Do you know I make the most money and I enjoy this job?
Yeah.
I love this job. John and I just had a conversation about when we move. We've bought property in another state.
Yeah.
When we move and going local, I said, I don't want to go local.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing what I do. There are downfalls to it. But truth be told, I've never enjoyed a job. Do I get stressed? Do I get pissed? Of course.
Yeah. That's every
But
job. Yeah.
truth be told, this is the best job I've ever had.
So,
And it took me 44 years to find it. I love it.
So you kind of like touched on the end of your working career. So does this mean that you really don't see yourself retiring per se? Or do you see yourself retiring but just still maintaining the job? What do you see yourself doing in the next 15, 20 years?
This job, I've seen people 70, 80 years old out there on the road still.
Yeah?
Because they can't afford to quit.
Oh,
Because this is all they've known.
wow.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to keep driving. I enjoy the money.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy being with my husband and my dogs.
Uh-huh.
You know, we realistically, when we do move and we have a house and house payment, we will slow down.
Yeah.
But it sounds stupid. I didn't start doing this because of him,
Uh-huh.
but I can't see myself doing it without him either.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not. Take it day by day. We'll see what happens. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Go with the flow.
I'm 49 years old. I've got at least 10, 15 years before I can even think about retiring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really not going to worry about it. Trucking's going to change between now and then. I do have other skills. I have been an office manager, an accounts payable manager. You know,
Yeah.
I have done other things. So
Yeah.
it's not like I can't find another job. Will I miss the money? Absolutely. I mean, when I first out of school, I made more in 1 week than I did 2 weeks working at an office job with a degree.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the money's good
Yeah.
when it's good. When it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of sacrifices. A lot of these young people nowadays, they don't want to go over the road. They want to be local. They want to be home. They want the money. They don't want the responsibility. Is it hard being on the road?
Yeah, you mentioned sacrifice. What do you mean by that?
Okay, if I start crying, excuse me.
I can turn off the video if
It's
you need me
okay.
to.
No, because it's something people need to know. Something that we go through. People don't realize this. I was in California end of September last year. And I got a phone call. Mom, you need to come home. I found Papa dead in the garage. My father died. And I was across the country. My son found him. And my kids were there. And my mother was there. And I wasn't home. We had never done what's called a reset and been anywhere near our house. And at the risk of getting religious, I think God worked that out. Because 2 days before he died, John and I were able to go by the house. I got to see him. I got to hug him. I got to tell him I love him and spend time with him.
Yeah.
And less than a week later, he was dead.
Wow.
And we had to hurry up and find me a flight to fly back across the country while he brought the truck and the dogs home so I could be here for my family.
Right.
My son went through some issues when he got divorced. I wasn't home. My daughter, you know, with her having 3 kids and my grandkids, there's a lot of times that I beat myself up. And now Mom trying to live without her partner, without my dad. My brother's just retired from the military. He's in Texas. I'm the only one here.
Yeah.
And trying to be here for my family while still making a living.
Yeah.
I mean, I drive 70 hours a week. I work 70 hours a week, every week.
Yeah.
I'm not home. Things happen. And just like with Dad, I wasn't here.
Yeah.
I wasn't here.
How do you get through that? Family, friends?
I know my dad was proud of me when I called him, or he'd introduced me. Hey, this is my trucker girl daughter. My dad was proud of me and what I was doing. And did my dad miss me? Yes. My dad called me almost every day. So where you at, baby girl? He called me every day. And he was proud of me. And he told me, I think he knew he was going to die. And he knew. He knew. We found out after. He pretty much, he didn't know when, but he knew it was coming. He didn't tell anybody because he knew. He knew John and I would have come off the road and stayed here, and everybody would have changed to be there for the man that had been there for us. And that's not what he wanted. He wanted me and John. He was excited he was going to go down to Tennessee with us at December. Mm-hmm. You know, he was excited for the property. He was excited. He loved John. You know. That was his son. He was not the son-in-law. He's like, this is my son, John. You know, Dad was proud of me. He always was. You know that. We grew up together. My father was always proud of me. So I'm going to keep out there. I'm going to keep keeping it on, doing what I know my dad wanted me to do. Because he's still up there watching me. And it's like, did I have a moment where, you know, if I wasn't doing this, I'd have been home? But I might not have been. I might have been at work. I might have been... And like I said, I was home in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
He died that afternoon, and I got home, and he died about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was home by 7 o'clock the next morning. Mm-hmm. The advantage to this is with us moving... When we move, we're waiting to make sure everything's okay with Mom. When we move, one, we're used to drive a long distance.
Yeah.
So we can come home.
Yeah. 2,
with the job we drive, all we got to do is say, hey, we need a load here. I can be home whenever I need to be.
Yeah.
Within reason. I mean, but it's just like when my daughter, my stepdaughter was sick and she would call me. I really wish you were here, Mom. You know, your kids, doesn't matter what age they are, they need you. And sometimes a phone call doesn't feel like enough. But they've adapted. They know I love my job. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I've had people, their grandfather died that I was close with. I wasn't home. I was able to make it home for the services. Our aunt died. That I wasn't able to make home for the services, but
yeah,
you know, there's just
when you think about being away from your family at these moments, though, it's not so much that you regret being in this job position. You still love it, and you would still do it all over again, right?
Right.
It's just the way life goes. It's what you have to deal with.
Right, but
So,
I mean the same thing. My brother being in the military.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look something up because I want to read it to you. I found today. No, it describes the trucking industry perfectly, and I can't really do it justice. Mm-hmm. Somebody had posted this one time.
Okay.
And it talks about, you know, don't ask me how much is my salary, but ask me what time I sleep, what time I wake up, and how long I don't see my family.
Ooh, wow.
John and I are gone anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks at a time.
Wow. Holy
We
smokes.
just got home Monday. We're leaving again Friday. We won't be home again until May.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So, and with 3 young grandkids, like I said, 7, 5, and 2.
Now, where do they live here locally?
Yeah, they live
Okay.
in Niles too. Lexi
Okay.
and her husband and my grandkids live in Niles. My son lives in Niles. My daughter's still at the house.
Okay.
So everybody's still in the same area, so we could just come to one place.
Yeah, right. That's good.
But John and I make it a point, and people have commented, you see your grandchildren more than most people do that live here. We make it a point.
Good.
Our priority when we come home, family first, and then friends. But my friends understand this. Like, I'm going to see my best friend tonight.
Yeah.
But they know when I come home, my mother, my kids, and my grandkids, that's my priority. They get seen first. They are my priority.
Yeah.
Then if I can, then okay, yeah, we'll go to lunch, I'll get together, I'll see you.
Yeah.
But being that we're only home anywhere from 4 to 6 days at a time,
Yeah.
it's a lot to do to prep to go back out
Oh, yeah.
and still try to fit family in.
So on that note, you're here with me today. What's John doing right now? I mean, maybe not specifically what is he doing right now, but he's getting the truck ready, right?
No, the truck is in the shop right now.
Oh, okay.
He is getting things done that we need. That's the other thing, being gone. Things
Yeah.
that need done around the house.
Yeah, okay.
Like things that generally, like my daughter's car's in, the youngest car's in the shop. That stuff he could have fixed, but
Yeah.
we're not home.
Right.
There's stuff at home that my goddaughter and the youngest, they cannot do it.
Yeah.
So when we're home, we're trying to make sure, the house is squared away, this is squared away, this is squared away.
And that's your responsibility too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a lot to juggle, not just with your family and friends, but just the home life, the home itself.
Going shopping we do most of our eating on the truck.
Yeah.
So going shopping, getting food before we go out, getting clothes washed, everything squared away, ready to go.
Okay. And you said you have 2 dogs, so they come with you and stuff.
Yes.
So you got to make sure that they're, maybe up on shots or that they're getting their maintenance as well, so to speak. And
Well, for the most part, we do that ourselves.
Yeah.
They had their shots in February.
Oh, okay.
In February. He can grind their nails on the truck.
Oh, okay.
Well, they get a bath when we get home. There are truck stops we can take them in if need be. Like when
That's right. Yeah.
when we had first got my little idiot on the truck, he decided it would be a great idea to roll a deer carcass.
Oh no. Oh
So
my
needless
gosh.
to say, Love's truck stop, here we come. He was not a happy camper. He pretty much stays out of stuff now. So thankfully there are, and like we could get the truck into Tractor Supply. They usually have the dog baths. We are able to bath them if need be on the road, but for the most part we do the nails and stuff
That's fantastic.
when we're home.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to ask one last question, okay? And this might spawn a couple other questions possibly, but if not, that's fine. But is there anything else that you would like to add about your working life outside of the home, your experiences? Is there something that maybe we didn't touch on that you just want to make sure that is told?
It's not all roses. You still got the people out there in the trucking industry that, she's a woman. She's driving.
Oh, see,
There
okay.
are a lot of women drivers. There's even a Facebook page called Women in Trucking.
Okay.
There are a lot more of us. But
Yeah.
I have still had people, when I'd be in a truck stop or doing something,
That's what I was
dropping a
wondering.
load.
Where at? Yeah, okay.
I don't even remember where because I almost knocked the guy out and kind of saw red.
Oh, no.
I was doing something and he looked at me and he went, "Just go get your husband." Excuse me?
Oh.
My husband's like, "Did you hit him?" I went, "No." He goes, "I would have."
Oh. So you do experience that,
A
though.
little bit, not a lot.
Okay.
But it's pretty much a solid, since COVID,
Yeah.
there's not the socialization, like the truck stops don't have the lounges and for truckers to hang out in anymore.
Okay.
And when you're at a terminal, like in your company's terminal, we're all drivers.
Okay.
You know, we don't. There's been a few
Yeah.
that I get sideways looks, or like I had some guy try. When I first started, I bumped his trailer, and he kept yelling at me, "You hit my trailer!" And I looked at it, and I looked at mine, and I said, "Okay, there's no damage, but you hit my trailer. Okay, and what? What exactly do you want me to do?" My husband's like, "He wanted you to give him money." I said, "He can kiss my ass. I didn't do damn thing to his trailer or mine.
Yeah.
He can shut up."
Yeah.
He's like, "He thought you were a female and he was going to scare you and intimidate you." I said, "He had the wrong person." My daddy taught me.
Yeah.
I may be a female, but he taught me how to fight like a man. And it ain't happening. There's not much out there that intimidates me.
Yeah. I've had a lot of women say you have to have thick skin. Do you feel the same way about having this job?
Yeah.
Then? Okay.
But it helps. Growing up, as you know, most of our friends were guys. You know, so the joking, the attitude, I feel more comfortable with men.
Yeah.
So my best friends growing up were mostly guys.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really. No, I'm not one of these girly girls that's on the websites going, "Oh, I got my nails done." I'm like, how the hell do you drive a truck and do what you need to do with those? Yeah, you see mine. Okay, yeah, no, not happening. Or they'll do their makeup, and I've got false teeth. I had my teeth pulled. It was just, I was having issues with them. And the guy's like, "Well, it'll cost you this to get them fixed, and you have to come back every 3 weeks, or this," which was like half the price, "to get false teeth." I'm like, give me the false teeth.
Yeah. Yep.
Half the time I don't have makeup. I have a ponytail or a bun in my hair. I ain't got no teeth in. My husband's like, "You don't wear your teeth." I'm like, "Dude, I drive nights. I see nobody. What do I care?"
Yeah. Valid.
You know?
Valid.
I can wear jeans, t-shirt. I've actually even worn pajamas on occasion. I wear sleep pants because I'm driving at night. If I don't have to fuel, if I don't have to get out of that truck.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm going to be comfortable.
Yep. I would too.
No, I don't generally go into truck stops. I mean, on occasion I have with pajamas on, and I mean, I always have a bra on, but...
But like you said, if it's the middle of the night and you don't have much traffic, you're not going to run into too many people in the middle of the night either. So, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
Even fueling, even if I have to get out and fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, most people are sleeping. The majority of people, it seems, in my opinion, drive day shift.
Yeah.
Or drive like a split shift.
Yeah.
I'll maybe see 2 or 3 trucks parked in a truck stop. Or actually fueling when I'm fueling. I'll go into the truck stop and maybe 3 or 4 people. And I don't know you, I don't care.
Exactly. You're like...
I'm not here to impress
300, 500 miles away.
The person that loves me is sleeping in that truck. I can give a rat's ass what you think about me. And that's pretty much my attitude out there. I don't care.
Yeah.
I have a family to get home to that loves me and accepts me for who I am. My husband, my dogs.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I don't need you. I don't know you.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass, keep it moving.
So, all right, Nikki, thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetie.
For taking out of your short spell here back in town to meet with us and share your experiences. It's fantastic. All right.